Hello and welcome to this very pleasant evening in Nagpur today. During this lockdown, people have watched a whole variety of animals from their backyards: birds, butterflies, moths, spiders, insects, various kinds. But there's one group of animals that has always evaded our attention because they're nocturnal and they're shy. That's bats. And today, I'm going to do a virtual bat walk. So I have this instrument with me, which is called a bat detector, and it allows you to record the ultrasonic calls of bats. And what's special about that? Like birds, different species of bats often call at different frequencies. So by recording their calls, we can potentially find out what species are in our surroundings. And if that sounds exciting, continue watching this video and continue and enjoy this virtual bat walk. And before we begin, just some very quick basics. This is how you will see a bat call, and this my bat detector has this wonderful functionality which allows you to see this call of the bat on this graph live as it flies by. And this is a graph between frequency on the y-axis and time in milliseconds on the x-axis, and frequency is in kilohertz, so it's way above what we can hear. And on the frequency axis, you can see the frequency at which the bats are calling, and as they fly by, you'll see their calls coming and disappearing. And this is what a bat call will look like. So we begin for some bats to fly by. Okay, there we have our first bat. And another one there. I will tell you the name shortly because I suspect the activity might increase soon. So, but remember, so far we've got two bats. One is here, which is calling at around 48 kilohertz. Well, its call starts much higher than that, almost 90, 85, 90 kilohertz, but it ends at this frequency at 48 kilohertz. And there's the second bat down there at 28. Okay, so this one right now that's flying that's calling at 27, 28 range is called a tomb bat. It's most probably a black bearded tomb bat. And here we have the third species, which just flew by very, very quickly. And again back to the 40s, 38. So okay, so let's continue with what I was saying. The bat that was calling at 27 was a black-bearded tomb bat, and it's a common bat found in dry and arid regions of the country. So when you see it fly, it looks exactly like a swift. It's got long and narrow wings, long pointed narrow wings, so it flies like a swift and takes huge sweeps of the sky as it flies. And now this bat that's getting very active and very, very typical of this time of the night, early evenings, just after dawn, just after dusk, sorry, is when this bat becomes very active. It's called the Indian pygmy bat, and a very small bat, also called the pygmy pipistrelle. Um, it's found all over the country, pretty much all over the country, and it emerges just at this time at dusk. And what you were seeing now, suddenly in some calls, what we saw was uh, the bat was calling very fast. Okay, okay, okay. The third bat over here, and there are two species that call at this frequency. One is called the greater yellow house bat, and the other is called a Kelats pipistrelle. And both of these bats are their frequencies overlap, but their sizes don't. The house bat is very big in size, while the Kelats pipistrelle is much smaller. So you can when you like particularly now when there's some light around, you can tell the two bats apart by their size. But I couldn't see the bat myself. So coming back to the 48 one, there was a time when the bat was calling very quickly. We'll see if it comes back again. But what the bat was doing there was it tried to hunt. So what happens is when bats try to hunt insects, they send sound waves all over the place. Yeah, there. So that was a feeding attempt, which we call, in scientific terms, we call it a feeding buzz. So the bat tried to hunt an insect. It first located the insect, and when it found an insect, it did not let go of it. So it increased the speed at which it was calling, and then finally it terminates in a trrr sound where the bat makes its actual hunting attempt. So, and this one flew very close to me, just about 5 meters above my head. So that's why the call was very loud. Today, surprisingly, the activity is a little low for this time of the night. The tomb bat is back here, and so is the bat above at 38, 39, which is either a greater yellow house bat or a Kelach pipistrelle, but I think this one is a little higher. For example, if you see here at 32, 33, that's what I suspect is a greater yellow house bat, but at 39 is probably a Kelach pipistrelle. Okay, now two bats active at the same time. And there another attempt to hunt, a feeding buzz. I just saw the tomb bat, and the two tomb bats that just flew above my head will fly very high above the ground. So, and I can also see flying foxes flying around, which means that right now it's been 6 minutes since we started recording, and we already have three species or four species of bats calling, four species of insectivorous bats calling in the detector, and now the activity is really picking up. So, four species of bats calling at, flying around us. These are insectivorous bats, but then there are also two species. There's one flying fox which flew about, and these fruit eating bats do not navigate by ultrasound. They use their eyesight and their sense of smell to navigate. So we saw a flying fox, and at the neem tree in front of my house, I also saw a short-nosed fruit bat while all of this was happening. So in total, we've got six species of bats in 7 minutes of recording, and that's pretty phenomenal. And this is not something about my house; it's just everywhere, but we don't realize this amazing diversity unless we have something like this. So now, time to end this virtual bat tour. That was a quick tour for you guys, but I hope we can do more such tours with more descriptions about how you can see the world through sound, which is so very magical. Thank you.